What's up, guys? Back at it again with finally another series. A series that honestly has been taking way too long to get going. I wanted to do this over the winter, never got to it, and then I needed the truck for a couple things in the middle of spring. And come now, I'm making this video I'm making right now, I'm making this May 21st. Now the middle of May and, well, honestly the whole month of May and the first half of June I had free of not eating the truck. For those that don't know, I have a 2012 Ram and it's a street truck and it's got the 6-speed in it. Not only is a 6-speed garbage in general, the ratios and all that kind of stuff, it also at about 500 horsepower, can't hold it anymore. So the next thing on the list is to do an 8-speed swap. There's kind of a lot of catching up I need to do with you guys on this, so just kind of sit back and relax for a minute. This video is not going to be, not really going to be any content in this video. It's going to be pretty much me going over the 8-speed stuff with you and kind of give you an update on other things. But other than that, it's just going to be pretty much me talking. So if you want to listen, great. This is for those people that want to learn about 8-speed swaps. Then the next video will be us actually throwing this in and all that kind of stuff. So, doing an 8-speed swap, I'm not gonna sit here and talk like I know every single thing about it because I don't, but what I can tell you is there is a lot of stuff involved with it. This is a 2012, didn't even have the 8-speed in 2012. I wish I would have bought an 8-speed truck 6.5 years ago. Didn't realize I was gonna be drag racing it. So far, what I've been doing with this, I got it up on jack stands. I got the exhaust and the drive shafts all out of it. Pulled the T-case off, the 6-speed, and actually did manage to pull the 6-speed. I didn't really record it because just pulling a trans and there's not much intuitive into it. And I'm doing this, me and my buddy are doing this on our backs, on my shoebox garage floor. So I just wanted to get that trans out and be done with it. Now it's finally out and now I can start recording a little more. So I'll show you guys real quick. The 6-speed is out. This is not the original 6-speed of the truck either, by the way. If those that you don't know, this is actually a junkyard trans I got last June because I blew up the original 6-speed of this truck. And I knew I wasn't gonna be doing the 8-speed at least till winter. Obviously it ended up being a little longer. So I went ahead and threw a 6-speed back in it. This 6-speed was like 400 bucks. I just threw it back. I threw another one in. But yeah, the 6-speed is officially out. So now, my next step, real quick, I'm gonna go through some of the things you need. This is not, if you're planning on doing this, make sure you watch every single video. And I'm gonna fully go into exactly what you need and stuff, especially from a Ram side and a 4-wheel drive Ram side. Right now, I'm not gonna say you're gonna give you a list of what you need because I physically haven't got to some of these things yet and I don't exactly know what it needs. So right off the bat, obviously, depending on what kind of 8-speed you wanna use, you can use one out of a 1500 truck like I did. They're good for like $750 maybe, which is plenty for what I'm gonna do with this truck. Or I mean, you can get and I also went with that one because it's 4-wheel drive capable. You can get a 8 HP 90 or whatever it is out of like a Trackhawk or a Durango, but I chose not to. I just went with a 1500 one. And obviously if you're doing 2-wheel drive stuff, you can get one out of a Challenger or Charger or whatever. I did find out that the 6-speed, I'm gonna confirm this, so just continue to watch the videos, but everything I'm hearing says that the 6-speed T-case is the same, so the T-case will bolt right up to this. So this is a stock 2013 8 HP 70. I did buy a 4000 stall Circle D triple disc lockup converter for it. Going a little bit bigger on the converter, like stall wise. It's gonna be rowdy, but I think it'll handle it. And 4000 stall with an 8-speed and 392 gears, I think it's gonna get out of the hole pretty well. As far as like shifting and stuff goes, so again, for those that don't know, an 8-speed is all electronic shift, every single one of them. Rams have a dial. They have a dial right in the center, like kind of where your HVAC stuff is. That's where you shift it, and it's obviously all electronic shift. Well, in order on the trucks that came with an 8-speed originally, with the dial, those have gear shifters actually on the steering wheel. This, I'm not buying a steering wheel. I'm not going through all that to swap a steering wheel out to have gear change. So in order to have manual shift in this truck, I now had to get this. It's the T handle for a Charger, Challenger, whatever. But because of this, it's got manual shift on it. But these are actually programmed for gear lockout, or for like actual manual. Like if it's in a gear and I punch it, it's not gonna downshift, it's not a lockout, it's an actual, whatever gear it says it's in, it's gonna stay in until I tell it otherwise. Obviously with that, trucks are not like that. Trucks are just a lockout. So if you run a shifter like this, you have to then pull apart your 8-speed and pull the valve body out of it, like I did. Pull the valve body out of it and pull the TCM out and send it out and get it reprogrammed for a Charger, Challenger, T-handle shifter. Whoops. I'll clean all that up later. So I did that over the winter. I pulled apart the 8-speed, pulled the valve body out of it, took the TCM off, and sent it out to Sound German Automotive. While it was there, I also, to this day, I think this, as far as I know, it's the only kit, and I think, as far as I know, and I think it actually is the only kit out there. Sound German Automotive, he makes the swap kits. So I did at the same time while I got the TCM reprogrammed, I went ahead and got the swap kit. Comes with all the stuff you need, all the wiring and everything for a 8-speed swap. I also got, my stuff's on top of it, but I got 8-speed flex plate. And I don't know if I'm gonna have to use this. It's a 8-speed pilot bushing. I will obviously let you guys know if I need that. Some say you do, some say you don't. I have no idea. So at the moment, I think that's it. That's all I have right now. I know I'm gonna have to run a different front drive shaft because the 8-speed is a little longer, so it's gonna back the drive shaft off a little bit. They do make space, someone does make spacers. You can space the front drive shaft on the front diff itself and it spaces it off a little bit. I'm just gonna get a new drive shaft because mine's got 180,000 on it and I do a lot of 4-wheel drive launches and the U-joints aren't that great and I'm just gonna get a new one. As far as rear drive shaft, I honestly have no idea. That's gonna be one of those things where I'm gonna put the 8-speed in the truck and see if the drive shaft works, because obviously it's just gonna bolt into the back of my T-case anyway, so it's gonna be the same splines. So I'm gonna see if the drive shaft works. I don't know if it's got enough forgiveness in the length, I don't know. I also don't know if my cross member and trans mount is gonna work for this or not. Have no idea. So there's a couple things that I'm waiting on to find out until I actually put the 8-speed in the truck. The other thing, so this, it's where the cooler lines and I guess coolant lines, if I look at it a little harder. Yeah, coolant lines and cooler lines all go into this. I'm obviously not going to run this. So, in order to mess around with this now, I'm gonna pull this off, and then there are two, I'll show you guys all how to do this while we do it. But right here, there's two lines, or there's two ports in the transmission that actually, you know, where this all actually goes into the transmission. And I'm gonna pull this whole block off, and I'm actually gonna tap both of those holes for AN fittings. You can use, if you want to, you can tap them for these fittings right here and right here. There's one right here. You can tap them for those fittings and just use, like, I mean, they call them Jesus clips. Use the Jesus clip. I'm probably gonna end up tapping them for AN lines, AN fittings, run AN lines, and then run them under my trans and probably connect them to the lines that are already for the 6-speed to go into the cooler up front. So yeah, there's that. You also, there's a lot of things, guys, just bear with me. You also, this is a plate that mounts from the trans to the, well, this is the trans side, this is the front diff side. On the 8-speed, it's a lot different. These holes are bigger. A lot of guys, I don't know how, but a lot of guys modify these to fit, and they just modify this one. I'm going to see if I can just get an 8-speed one. I don't necessarily see why I can't, but I gotta look into that. And I think that's it. Again, I haven't done, besides pulled my TCM out and sent it off to get it reprogrammed, I haven't done anything off camera that is 8-speed swap intensive, or like that you need. I literally just pulled the 6-speed itself. I got the exhaust off out of the way and all the accessories and pulled the 6-speed off. I haven't done anything, so anything else that I do, like if I just told you guys after like whatever this was, like 10 minutes of recording and you didn't follow it, just continue to watch. And everything I'll do, I will show you. Everything you need to know, I will physically show you. But that was just a brief showing of kind of what goes into an 8-speed. So again, you need a trans, advanced converter, a harness. It's a 8-speed swap harness. You actually are going to have 2 OBD2 ports now. You have to have one for the trans and one for the ECM. That's gonna be very annoying for logging. Nonetheless, it's what has to happen. If you guys haven't bought a truck yet and you're looking at Rams, just buy a freaking 8-speed. That mounts up to the trans, and I gotta tap the transfer lines, had to pull the valve body, had to get a different shifter, flywheel, don't know about drive shafts, none of that. So this is gonna be this is gonna be new for me. I wanna say I'm, not in a bad way, but I wanna say I'm a little nervous just cause like I'm completely changing this truck because now like I have a base model truck, so I have a 6th seat in the middle. I have a middle seat, and that's no longer gonna have to be here. I'm gonna have to now buy a center console for the truck so that I can mount a shifter right here and actually use it. So this will be gone. But yeah, that's just a little rundown of what's been going on. 6-speed's out, and either tonight or in a couple days, I got a trip coming up here. I mean, this video is gonna be posted after I went on the trip, but I got a trip coming up. It's gonna be about a week long, and then when I get back, we're gonna slave pretty hard on getting this 8-speed in and up and running, because I've got an event at the end of June that I really want to take this truck to, and then I have a drag and drive at the end of July that I already paid for registration for this truck, and I have to have this 8-speed done and running good, and then I have to redo the rear suspension on this truck too before that event. So I got a lot to do, and the little bit of free time I have, every time I do get some free time, I'm trying to work on this. It's just, there's so much that goes into it that I'm not gonna lie, it's like kind of fogging my brain of what needs to happen. But I really was gonna include more content at the end of this video, but I realized after talking, I've made this a couple different videos, but I've realized after talking that I've already made this video like over 10 minutes, damn near 15 minutes long. So I'm sorry this was kind of a boring video, but I just wanted to start out with the progress of the beginning of the series of the 8-speed swap for my truck. As far as this car, I'm still driving it every single day. It's flawless. I've got 44,700 miles on it now. Put these new headlights on. They're actually, I'm not gonna lie, they're kind of crappy. They were like one of the most expensive ones I could find, and the seal's falling off and junk, and I gotta put the seal back on. And I also did get it tinted. It's like 11% on the sides, 11% around the windows, and 5 on top of 20 on the T-tops. So this thing's looking good. It's been glowing flawless. Oh, I also did, Ryan and I did put a double din Alpine in this thing. It already had speakers, amps, and a sub in it, and it had like a stereo from like 2001. Couldn't listen to, all it had was a CD player, and you couldn't listen to your own phone, and the CD player didn't even work. So put that double din in it because I got a trip coming up with this thing. For me, the next 2 days, taking this thing to Memphis, and then from Memphis we're going to Tampa, and then from Tampa we're going to Miami, and then Miami we're coming back. So I'm gonna put another 3,500 miles in this car, but I ain't worried about it. It's gonna do great. And yeah, that's the update with that. And then once I get this truck, I got a lot to do on this truck this year. I not only am gonna do the 8-speed swap and the rear suspension change this winter, I also plan on hopefully doing a 6.4. And this thing has, honestly, if you guys have ever seen this truck in person, the bodywork in this truck kind of blows. It's got 180K on it. This bumper is absolutely trashed. And it's got a hole in it from when I hit a freaking trailer hitch. And the bumper, all these were bugged, and they actually ate through the paint. And these are just chips. It's got some rust on the fenders, and the back bumper is shot. And I've got some rust on the roof line. So I got a quote on probably the end of this year. I'm gonna do all the body work on this thing, get it looking perfect and cleaned up again. But yeah, sorry for the long and kind of contentless video. Just wanted to make an update video on how the 8-speed swap is going. Wanted to show you guys that there is progression being made, and I'm super excited for this thing to be done. I have zero doubt in my mind that this is going to lead me to a 12-second pass. I should hopefully be deeper into the 12s than just a 12.9, like 12.7 is kind of my goal right off the bat, but we'll see. Other than that, thanks for watching my boring video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next video putting the 8-speed swap, putting the 8-speed actually in the truck.